Thank you, Dr. Ibsen.
Hello, thank you. I think it's really important for people to remember that the only way that slavery is still legal in the United States is in our penal system. Legal slavery is allowed. And when we have laws that criminalize people, like sex workers, for having consensual adult sex, we're setting them up for the 21st century form of slavery, penal slavery. And the system that we live in, this judicial system, perpetuates a structural form of violence against poor women with very few resources. And we need to look at how the legal system is part of the violence that sex workers experience. It's not just social stigma, it's a system, an institutionalized system. And if we want to empower women, poor women, we need to get them out of the penal system, where they are vulnerable to violence and rape. When you're arrested as a sex worker, you are at high risk for being raped by a policeman, or extorted, extorted by your lawyer for special services. So there's a whole system of institutionalized violence that needs to be addressed here. It's not just the civil society that does that. So if you're interested in abolition and abolishing modern day slavery, we've got to stop putting women in jail for having sex, for trying to survive.
Thank you, Dr. Ibsen. Now we'd like to have Maxine Dugan from the Erotic Service Providers Union speak for a few minutes. Thank you.
Now, hold on.
Thank you, Robin, to you of the Sex Workers Outreach Project, and thank you, Supervisor Jake Mcgoldrick, for standing in solidarity with all erotic laborers. Erotic labor is anyone who earns a living from their erotic labor. That would be prostitutes, exotic dancers, phone sex operators, webcam performers, porn stars, whether you're street-based workers, home-based workers, or out-call workers. And today, the Erotic Service Providers Union stands in solidarity, calling for an end of violence against sex workers. Here in San Francisco, the University of San Francisco students and an ethics professor sponsored violence against a group of Asian massage parlor workers recently by taking hidden cameras into their jobs and filming them without their permission. This kind of violence is a particular abhorrent kind because those workers don't have the same rights to protection that every other worker does. When workers don't have the right to come forward and file grievances or access the legal system on their own behalf to redress any violence against them, then bringing any kind of privacy violation is a particular violence. And this group at the University of San Francisco students and ethics professor filmed those workers without their permission under the guise of bringing them rights. You can't violate people's human and civil rights under the guise of bringing them rights. That makes no sense. And we're calling for the University of San Francisco to host a forum that features actual voices from actual sex industry workers to talk about what actual violence on our job is and to talk about what forced labor actually looks like on our jobs.